Department of CSE, SRM Development Campus. I welcome all the guests to this day 3, session 5 of this Atal FPP on unleashing the power of data science for Industry 4.0. And this session is on data science tools. And here we have the team from Presidio Limited with us, and Mr. Santosh is joining us in this session. And here we have Mr. Kiran and Mr. Vignesh from Presidio. I invite Dr. Neelam to introduce himself to the audience.
A very good morning, one and all. Actually, here I am for introducing our chief guest, Santosh Krupakaran sir. He is a strong, agile and capable leader in solving problem and driving enterprise solution. More than 19 years of experience in global journey in guiding customers to achieve growing business ecosystem solutions, centered in domain-driven design, building out an event-driven architecture in order to help services stay completely autonomous, providing scalability and proper solution orchestra. Technology leader and capable learner in leveraging the latest technology to transform systems, meet higher expectation and thrive in future. Enterprise business value deliver in making technology fall into place for business to achieve their goals and supporting their operations. Sir is agile driver in fitting different parts of enterprise like process, product, data, people, technology to work together and delivering values, experience, in system design, continuous integrations and continuous deployment data analytics. He completed his master's in software business, software systems in BITSP Learning. He is an AWS certified architect professionals, architect associates, cloud architecting, and a part of that, he started his journey as a software engineer, project leader, solution architect, enterprise architect, and now he is working as a technical architect. Sir is engineering and product design system leadership for leading healthcare solution and services providing, delivering high quality solutions that serve patients and their communities. He is responsible for leading multiple teams of developers and business analytics toward delivering an amazing end-to-end software project using highly iterative approach. He managed the design and developing of the complete product from concept to each cross. He leveraged unified CI and CD pipelines, immutable infrastructures in leveraging and provisioning tools on top of deployment that allow creating and immutable infrastructures. Sir, by these words, I want to welcome. Sir, you have the lead.
I invite our HOD ma'am to present this memento to Mr. Santosh.
Usually, thank you note should be at the end. Let me start off with that. Thanks for the detailed paragraph. I don't know how much time you took to prepare that. Thank you so much again before starting the session. Let me get into, before getting in, right, that complete essay was about only me, right? But I'm proud and I'm happy to have these two guys also part of the session. Vignesh, he's part of the mechanical industry, but just listen to what he speaks during the tools. You will know, you will doubt whether he's from mechanical. That's how the output could be. And he's Kiran. I hope like he's from RMK. I hope like RMK staff is also part of the session. So, I'm very proud to be part of his leader. Okay. Basically, he works for me, and the way he outputs, right, indirectly there's no work for me. That's how your machine learning. Right? If your machine learns good, you keep quiet. So that's a simple summary of two people who are Kiran. Please. Okay, now before getting into the session, tools and techniques in data. So there are different terms within the industry, the data industry. I'm not getting into data science. Data industry have different terms. Machine learning, data science. can I get a small difference? Like I hope this is a theoretical question, but any difference between ML and data science? How do they differ basically?
Data science is a study of science of collecting, storing, processing, and describing, modeling the data. In the case of machine learning, they can try to predict based upon the analyzing the existing data, label data, or whatever. Supervised or unsupervised or possible.
ML is the subdomain of data science.
ML is a subdomain of data science. Yeah. With the answers I get right, when I heard the answer about ML, I again heard the term of data. Right? Machine learns with the data. That's the answer I heard. So a simple difference right before we kickstart. A science on data, which means you learn from data. There's nothing more you have. Go learn from data. That's it. And a machine learning perspective, you define something, you define an algorithm to go and learn from data, right? But here with the data science, you go learn from the data. That's it. You have data, go and learn from it. There's nothing else, no input for you. That's why if you see for data science, every industry is part of, right? ML is part of. ML, as you said, data is a term when you started speaking about ML. Yes, data science includes ML aspect. For ML to be efficient in ML, you should know at least the gist of data science. Right? To put it other way, in our existing development, the company work culture, right? We do have application development, which is nothing but creating a web application, like mobile apps and web applications. Everything generates data. So your application is also part of your data mix. Right? That's how science is. Science is a big term. Data science is a big industry. Right? That's why go speak any term, right? Mobile generates data. Then that involves data science. Go try to understand the data and give some analytics out of it. That's data science. That's how simple data science is. The reason is it's so simple because it's widespread. Right? That's why the tools and techniques is also very widespread. Getting into techniques again, it will be a theoretical session again. I don't want to get into more theories. There will be techniques spoken about here, but tools will be the main focus here. From the way how we used to get into our colleges for recruitment, and the way we drill down students on our recruitment activity is, yes, they know more theoretical than us. That's a practical truth. Because they are fresh from learning, they learn more than us. So we don't drill them on learning. We just have some snapshots of questions posted there, give them their practical problem. Let's see how they come out of the solution. Right? That's the only thing which we drill down. That's why I say for tools, if you can guide the students with being in faculties, that will be an added help for them to go face any kind of a challenge in the industry. With that, so these are the content we are planning to cover. Okay, this is the agenda. What is data science? Which I started speaking. I'll again speak more. Then techniques. As I told you, we'll give a quick snapshot on techniques. What are the techniques being followed within our data science, or anywhere data involved? Right? That will be covered. But again, I hope these are the terms you will be knowing. All these are nothing but data processing. When you consider data, these are the steps you should go through. If you go through these steps, then that's involved a science. Right? You're trying to learn something from the data. If you want to learn something from the data, I would say every step should be part of it, or most of them should be part of it. Okay, what is data science? That's the question I posted right before I started. I said data science involves every aspects of your computing. Data science is part of it. That's why if you see computer science and IT, this is where our company focuses on, right? We are IT industry folks who develop software. Right? The computer science, the theoretical perspective comes out, and we get that knowledge and develop software out of it. And the software generates data, right? Then there's a science involved. Simple terms. We have computer science and engineering, as I told you, from a academic faculty, we have machine learning involved. So These most of the terms are academic. If you see on top layer, maths and statistics is also part of our academic sessions. Right? Everything clubbed together, data science is somewhere involved. You learn anything out of maths, the data science involved. If you don't understand maths clearly, data science, you might face difficulty in data science. That's how critical, like the concept needs to be registered to the students. Please concentrate on that, right? If you register the particular scope on people, they will explore out. Right? Everyone has their own technique. That's where machine learning is. We don't know how a human mind will learn, right? But the concept needs to be registered. That's a simple aspect. As we see, the research and domain knowledge are our aspect. Right? We get domain-specific projects, right? Healthcare. Like my summary was on healthcare and educational industry. I was part of Pearson learning as well. So those are domains and the knowledge which basically they wanted to explore data science on. They have more data. Right? They have more data out of softwares and the computers they have inside internal. With that data, they need to have some kind of data science explored out so that the analytical results are thrown out for them to improve the product. Indirectly, the only target in the industry is to grow this circle. Right? This circle needs to grow, which means if you make this circle grow, the other circle will automatically grow. People will get into more research contents will get into our academics aspect. Okay, techniques. When I say techniques, let's have this single line read here. Mathematical and statistical methods helps data scientists to complete a job in easy way. What probably might be your understanding on that? As part of my long talk so far I have given, right, I was speaking on this one. The techniques that are involved are part of our academics, right? Basically, that's why mathematical and statistical methods, as you saw the circles, right? This is the top layer I'm talking about. Tools are coming in the bottom layer. So the mathematical and statistical methods, if you have right methods followed, that's where the technique is. There's nothing new inside data science. We don't follow anything new because we are not industry expert or researchers. We don't invent anything. We are trying to utilize the existing methods in an efficient way. When I say efficient way, there is a take an example, right? You guys will go through the lab. If we teach something, you are expected to do something on the lab. Your PC will not run. If you start running it, it will keep rolling. It will keep loading. That's what we are trying to make it efficient. That's where we come. I'll just give a quick snapshot, Kiran, before I ask you to speak here, because I know you are expert here. So, I know I want to speak specific here because I am proud again. Proud again when I say the Weatherman. I hope you guys are aware of, right? John, right? He is my colleague, right? As part of my college, so we both studied together. We have a long journey, and the way he tries to predict is one of the learning which I do. I go sit with him. If you see the data he has, right, and he went to Bombay. He met a few researchers there. He came back here, and after which again, there's nothing special. I go and meet him, regular friendship, right? I go and sit with him, and if you see the data, that guy has some terabytes of data in his system. I don't know what he's doing with this. He'll try to explain something which I don't have any idea about. That's where the domain comes in. Right? He has domain expertise. And looking at some data, he generates out some idea. I don't know how he does it, but he has something. That's where the prediction, right? The prediction comes in because you have data. You predict something out of it. So, which means you have data, but you don't know what the features are. You don't know what the inputs are coming from. But looking at the data, you should predict something. That's where the prediction comes in. That the same way, the other aspects of techniques are here, which probably Kiran might have a better idea. Sure.
Alright, so far I think you would have seen more about machine learning, right? So within machine learning, we have artificial intelligence, where we will be creating certain models to do certain work, right? But this comes at a data.
done. Someone decision someone decision.
Yeah, I will tell that.
வாஸ்துபடியே சரியில்லை, இங்க வாங்க.
அதான் மேம், நீங்க இங்க வாங்க, முன்னாடி வாங்க, இங்க தான் உட்காருவீங்க.
வாஸ்து சரியில்லைங்க. Kindly arrange yourself.
Yes, second.
Sorry.
Again, a vastu is being spoken about, that's also data for
So basically, as Santosh was mentioning, so we'll be collecting data through software for different purposes, right? Based on industry.
Yes, sir. அங்கே உட்காந்துருக்கோம்.
So based on industry, we'll be getting different sort of data, right? So it can be anything. So there, once the data is collected, we need to gather information from it. So in order to gather information, we need to do certain techniques on top of that data. So that is where the analysis comes in. So since it is a known domain, so say for example, if it is a health domain, we know, so if I say for example, if I have user information or the patient detail, then if I have a parameter called age, then I know that what age means, right? Which means I know the data. So if I tell about age, for sure the value should not be in a negative. So that is a common thing which everyone knows. So if I have the known data, then mostly we'll be working on analysis of that data. So based on that, what we are going to do. And then the other one, as Santosh was mentioning about prediction, right? One good example is weather. So if we have weather data, based on that data, we can predict whether tomorrow it is going to rain or it is going to have a hot sunny day, or based on cyclone as well. So in which path that cyclone is going to travel. So all of these things will be coming under the prediction side. And then the other one is someone's decision. So here, this is one. There is a concept called game theory. Just to explain this, let's consider two different companies which is doing the same work. One good example will be Amazon and Flipkart. So Amazon.com and Flipkart both are actually selling e-commerce products, right? Both are doing the same business. But if you see, when two different companies are doing the same work, and then one particular company, let's say Flipkart is starting Big Billion Days, which means they are going to give discount or offer on their products, which means somehow Amazon is going to affect. Because many people might think, okay, since discount is on this, all people might go there. So if there's a concept called game theory, that is someone's decision, where Amazon can predict what will happen to them when someone takes some decision on the other end. So that is where this someone decision comes in. And then we have yours decision, which means let's say I have a problem and then I found out a solution. For sure, for one problem, there won't be only one solution. We can have many number of solutions, right? Any problem it may be, so we'll be having 10 or more number of solutions as well. So in that case, what is the best solution for this particular thing? So it may be like based on cost, or it can be based on security. So in an architecture perspective as well, when we are designing something, we'll be having multiple ways in which that problem can be solved. So there optimization comes in. So you will be able to optimize something, which means like in technical form they call it as dimensionality reduction, which means when we have more number of dimensions within a particular problem, then it will be difficult for us to solve. So in order to reduce that, we'll be reducing the dimensions that we have in the problem that we have. So once we reduce that dimension, there are certain algorithms like PCA, if you have heard about. So they call it as principal component analysis. So that is one of the dimensionality reduction algorithms. So that will be coming under optimization. So if you see, this is like an, not only this, apart from this also there are certain other things as well. But just to give a high level overview, most of the techniques that we have, right? So it will be applying on these areas.
This, again, just try to take the simple single word out of all these. Okay. When we say descriptive, you are describing something out of it, which means you have inputs. Right? When you predict, you are trying to predict something is going to happen. Right? Prescribe, always think about medical prescription. Where do we get the prescriptions? Right? Try to think, take the gist out of a single word. You will understand what's the difference. Everything is analytics. Descriptive is an analytics. You are trying to describe, right? With the data, as you mentioned, like with Amazon's data, there are loads of data here. They will take all the data and they'll describe, okay, this is the way how it is performing better, right? When you say, okay, out of last year's data, the healthcare products have sold well, right? With that 10 years data, he will take 10 years data, he will construct, he will have something else also. Say, film industry comes in, like the current trend comes in, they will apply everything and they predict something. What will happen in future?
So in that case, known data also need for predicting. We
Yes,
predict
that's-
unknown thing.
that's
But
why I told
for that
you.
we need a.
Yeah, known data is there, that there's unknown you have to consider.
No, this actually, the name itself says, right? This we can relate it to the game engines, whatever we are running. Many online servers are streaming lot of games now, right? If a particular guy is active in a single game, the game operator knows what is going to do next. So that instance, he will give a coupon for purchasing some guns or something, right? That is not random. People think it is randomly coming, you are putting your money and doing, right? But they know at this instance he may need this gun. So that is the pinch of time. So if they give the ad at that time, right, he will buy it for sure. So that is someone's decision. So you are predicting someone's decision.
Your computer science noise.
Sorry.
Your computer science noise, sir.
Yeah, you hear more about it. Yeah. Now we get into the techniques are something, again, we don't want to drill more there because if we give those three terms are many techniques. All those are theory books. There's nothing new we are going to teach or speak about here. If we speak, you might stare at us. That's not the right algorithm what you're trying to explain. So we don't want to get into that kind of fight. So let's get into the tools. Tools are something from a academic background that's lacked. Right? You guys, there might be a huge bulk of data you will collect. There might be a simple tool which will automatically do for you, for which you guys might spend 3 to 4 days. That's where the efficiency comes in. That's where we fit, right? But with that, I don't say we only know about it. It's just a matter of understanding what those tools are. More than what we do, you guys will have better things to do because there are more data you guys can collect. For us, it's kind of a domain in data, right? There's nothing like Kaggle or outsourced data that we have. We have only in-house enterprise data. We only look at those data and we start drilling more on that data. But the open source data is very wide. You get n number of data sets, where the exploration and the research can be very more. Right? With that simple term set, right? Tools and libraries. We speak about NumPy, right? When we do, I was seeing they are replacing Colab, right? Yeah. When we have that, NumPy, Pandas, all these would have been spoken about. Are they tools? Library. No. I hear noise about the answer. Can someone say? Yeah. Yes, let it be. See, let's have this as an open session. Okay. There's nothing right or wrong. Even we might also be wrong. We will correct us. A simple difference about tools and libraries. Any one of you. You can read out and say that's not a problem.
Simple example could be Power BI can be a tool. This NumPy, Pandas, everything is a library where we should code. Whereas if it is a tool, we can plug and play. From a teacher perspective, I'm telling.
Okay, yeah, good answer. Any other brief?
Example, as per the title, a library contains various routines and functions. We will take a tool, there we got environment, there we can create the program and we can call the libraries to run it out. It will provide a platform to running the libraries for our application.
Single term like platform is a simple word that differentiates. You have a platform which the same library is utilized, they use multiple libraries, plug in something, they build a product for you to work on. That's two. Library is something, yes. If you want me to solve some kind of mathematical problem, there is a library, just do a dot solve. It will resolve for you. That's a simple difference. Okay? But this discussion might go a day long. There are many things. If you guys can give me some term, I argue that that's not a library, that's a tool. That's how the discussion might go on, but try to understand that this is a simple difference. Okay? So the libraries, when you guys go have your teaching skills explored out or try to explain students, libraries will always be utilized.
What do you mean by packages?
Packages.
Library
Example
packages,
of-
library packages.
So just to tell her more on it. So within library we'll be having packages.
Yeah.
So basically, a group of packages clubbed together to form a library.
To be more simple, right? I hope you guys have computers or C or Java programming done, right? SysIO is a package, right? SysIO is a package that gives you outputs and inputs. That's a package, but that package will be utilized by NumPy. Similar way, NumPy utilizes that package. So if they give you a library, again a collection of all packages. The answer could be yes or no. That's why I'm trying to say. Yes, library, the focus is straight, but the tool, they try to bring in all parallel views and try to give a consult.
From here I'll take it. So there is, since we got answers for tools and libraries, right, there is one more term called a framework. So that is also in picture, right? So as Santosh mentioned, one good example is NumPy with SysIO. But one thing I like to mention here is even when we go to data, right, when we are taking data and running some kind of analysis, cleaning the data, doing some processing, we may need any one of them. Even if we are not going for a big environment or big platform, basically if you are running it from your laptop using a notebook instance or something, the basic library what you will go with is NumPy or Pandas. That covers a lot. Even Pandas, we can generate if you want to represent your data in a graph, with Pandas we can do it. But there is one more library called Matlab. It is specific for that. We do have Pandas with graphing capabilities, but there is a specific library for Matlab which will just dedicate it for graphs, right? So this is the basic difference. Pandas is packaged with a library, a plot library into it. So that actually creates a difference, right? So when it comes to framework, what makes it different from a library? So any guesses? So that actually stands in between a library and a platform. So platform, we can say like the many vendors are available now. Even Microsoft has their own version, AWS have their own version. Similarly, libraries, there are a lot of open source libraries out there. But if we want to customize a platform and come up with our own stuff, there comes a framework. So a framework will be packaged with set of libraries like Pandas, NumPy and all. So where we can adopt it for our own data needs, we can write the custom stack on top of it. Okay. So it will be, it won't be that mature like how AWS and Azure has it, but it won't be that weak as the raw Pandas or raw NumPy. So it will be lying in mid. If SRM wants a tool for data analysis, they can they can write their own framework adopting kind of integer-based stuff, matrices. You can play with NumPy. Beautiful Soup, again, the great difference is that we can handle the unstructured embeddings. So, like, this won't directly handle embeddings, but this is the first point of source for the embeddings. It will pull the unstructured data from any site and give it to the data processing unit. So, that's the sum here. I guess I answered your question, right? The API and this difference.
Using an API, there is a limitation, sir, because I am facing the problem. If I try to get the YouTube data, there is some restriction in that. So shall I use the Beauty Shop for extracting the data from the YouTube?
We'll park that question. We'll take that question later on. We'll answer it.
Yeah.
That's not listed with this. That's not linked with this topic.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely answer after this.
But as a quick answer, Beautiful Soup we can't use for YouTube, but we do have something else.
Put it other way, Beautiful Soup, scrap the data, pull it, use NumPy, calculate something, use Plotlib, plot it for use. This is how it should be connected.
So yeah, we talked about the libraries. In the previous slide again it is tools, but it is termed as libraries. Now we have the actual frameworks here. So these are all the actual platforms, not frameworks, platforms. So these are all the common platforms that we play with for data engineering. Okay. So again, ChatGPT comes into the picture, but that is an auxiliary tool which we can depend for anything, any purpose, even for data generation. We can depend on ChatGPT. But the more priority would be Copilot, Bing AI, Honeyface, and Google Bard. Even Google Bard goes with ChatGPT, but those three stands out. So Hugging Face again, it is a platform. I guess Hugging Face everyone used, right? Like any exposure on Hugging Face. This is again similar to PyTorch Hub, what we discussed in the last one, but this is a community-driven platform where we can put our own data sets, own data models. Even if you have solved a particular solution using some set of data, you can create a model and post it in Hugging Face and open its API for the public usage. For example, the same weatherman topic, right? If you have created a solid model to predict the weather analysis, you can create a model and put it in Hugging Face and open your API for using it in TensorFlow. TensorFlow everyone used, right? Yeah, TensorFlow or PyTorch, we can open the API so we can interact with the model and get the prediction. Like it makes the life simple. It's not like everyone need to depend on some data and a bigger compute layer. We need to put the data, train it, create model out of ourselves, and then go for a prediction. A simple example is prediction. That's why I'm quoting it. But almost all the data related problems we can easily solve using this kind of platforms. So again, not only textual data, even a tabular data, image CNN models are available in Hugging Face. We can use them for directly into work. We don't need to go and look for data, dig around, and then come back to the last step. Coming to this side, this talks about this talks about again a platform, but this we can term it as a frameworks also, right? The MATLAB, Tableau, Jupyter and all, they are standalone softwares which you can run it in your machine for on-demand data analysis, or if you have your compute with your own, these tools makes the life a bit simpler. Rather than opening your notepad and writing all the Python codes and then monitoring the logs in each and every step for data analysis, Jupyter, actually they make it handy. Even each and every line you can execute and get it done. Like I guess this notebooks you would have used it somewhere in the data science life cycle. Jupyter notebook, definitely people will use it nowadays. Tableau for visualizations, Spark again for the stream processing and all.
How does it differ from Seaborn or Tableau?
It is kind of famous, that is what we would say. Like both do the work, but Tableau is widely used, right?
So to tell one more difference, Seaborn you need to code, right? But in Tableau we have both options. Either you can write code or else you can run code.
So these things actually makes our life simple with no code approach. Like that is what we picked in the top priority. Most of the tools and frameworks that we pick here, right? it actually less code upload. Even for a newer one who doesn't know Python, or they have a basic understanding of Python with good of analytical skills, they can use this tool that will help them a lot.
Vega tools, we heard long back, Vega tools.
Vega.
It's obsolete?
No one is using this.
Okay. Okay, long back I heard about that, I used to.
Machine learning predictions.
Data miners.
Okay.
Yeah, again, that's why I say we the top use current industry we are trying to list down here. Okay, now
Workflows. So this term you could have come across, right? Like leave this data science part, talking about workflows. Workflows in any software development, any term. And someone mentioned what is a workflows or an orchestration.
Pipelining or?
Yeah, exactly. That answers it actually. So the term workflow in data science is, since we start, right, it is not that we are going to look into some kind of tabular data for data science every time. Every time the data source will vary, type of data will vary, the scenarios where we run the data analysis will vary, right? When compared to the industrial standards, it could be a medical data which will be collected from each and every build desk or a lab or some kind of X-ray machine or somewhere. So all these are data sources. The data will flow from all this area to a centralized repository. That is how the industry operates. In industry, if you go and approach any problem, right, whenever we work with multiple customers, almost all the customers, either they will have at least the raw data or the data with unstructured data will be there. Like data quality they used to mention, like the golden data, diamond data, silver data they used to mention like that. Not even silver data we used to get it. It will be very raw. You need to take and run lot of processing on top of it. That is how the data will reside with the customer end. Either in medical or telecom, like media and media application services, everywhere you won't get a solid data out of it. That's why this workflow comes. Workflow actually it helps in two, it solves two different problems. Okay, one, data will be continuously evolving. Everyone knows, right? Today one patient comes, within a minute new patient will come with a new problem. So that is again a data for us, right? So each and every instance data will be keep on changing. So you need to set up a workflow starting from collecting the data from the data sources, putting into a solid algorithm for data analysis, or in between data cleaning, all those stuffs will come, then an analysis, and then a model will be trained for some kind of prediction or some kind of insights will come out of it. Like if you are going to go with an ML based solution, then a model will be trained for going for prediction. You just want to visualize what happened today, then it comes to a data visualization task. So each and every stage of data collection to the data visualization is listed down into multiple stages, depends upon the workflow that we solve. Some could be government solutions, they will be more insights on how many patients have been admitted today. Like the COVID scenario and all, right? They were more concerned on the numbers rather than solving the solution. They are more concerned on the bringing down the numbers in a particular area. So that time the data points will be across the COVID centers wherever. So all those data is accumulated. Then analysis being run at the day end. Finally, a report is being generated to the government officials. But when you come into ChatGPT again, or some kind of AI tool where it needs to predict and do some action out of it, there an ML model is being retrained. So like it's not, everyone knows, right? Each and every model is not just trained for once. Now we have pipelines where the model learns itself, right? Generative learning is there in the scope. For that we need to pass some data. So that extraction again comes into a pipeline. That again goes into some kind of analysis, then the final work is done. So that is what we like to define here, but we have come up with a standard workflow which may fit to all the solution, but few things we need to adjust. I guess I'll hand over to Kiran, so he will take over the workflow.
So whenever we have less number of data, it is easy for us to do whatever we need. But what about the data grows to a higher level? then at a certain point you need an help of an automation. Only automation can do majority of the work, so that the burden which we have will be less. So one good example, one real-time good example for the explaining how the workflow helps us is, since we all know about Amazon, right? Again, Amazon.com. So they have around millions of products within them, and then all those millions of products is sold across, I think, around 38 countries, I guess. Yeah, we have around 38 countries where the millions of products is getting sold, and each and every country will be having a central government and a state government. So state government and central government, they will be able to regulate certain orders frequently. It may be varying based on the local body as well. Local body in the sense, apart from state government, we have the local panchayat as well, right? So even they might also regulate certain things in their area as well. So since this fluctuations, since the whatever local body or the rules is getting fluctuated, based on that they need to adhere each and every time. So say for example, there are certain products which is banned in certain countries. So Amazon should not sell those particular products to that particular country. So in order to maintain this, it is very tedious for them. Since not only one particular product may be created by many number of companies. Let's say even if we take example of a pen, right? One pen can be manufactured by different number of companies. So each and every company, they will be maintaining all their products in different product IDs. So the amount of data they have is so huge. So in order to maintain this, what they have done is they written a workflow or an automation, something like that. So they store all this information in a data warehouse where they'll be having petabytes of data, and then they'll be having a machine learning logic which actually gets all the local body information from it, and then that particular machine learning model will actually classify whether this particular product is suitable to this particular country or not. So based on that, they'll be splitting all the products, and then they'll be sending it to the countries. So that's how it goes. Since the regulation is being changed, each and every time when the regulation is changed, the model has to be trained. So when it is done in a manual way, it is too difficult. So that's why the workflow has helped a lot in order to solve this problem.
Yeah. So lots of speeches. When you get into some kind of a demo, we'll give a gist of what a workflow is. Then we'll get into a demo. Okay. Because I see some kind of tiny test. So data collection, right? Machine learning. You collect data. As we told, as part of our web scraping, you also you scrap and pull the data. All data is not useful. Right? You prepare it, try to clean, data cleaning. The cleaning needs to happen, but again, if you scrap, you will get millions of attributes. Right? You should not use millions of attributes. Just consider always in a matrix here. That's how you should consider. 1000 across 1000 matrix. If you do, nothing will run. Right? That's where feature engineering comes in. You reduce it. Just pull whatever you need. With that reduced model, the computation is good, is sufficiently, now efficient. Like efficient data is very, very key for training your model. If you lose your focus here, feature engineering is the biggest scope from our perspective. We spend a lot as part of industry. Creating there are many libraries, there are many tools available. Doing stuff is very easy, but we spend more time in feature engineering. We make sure we identify the right feature so that the computation is efficient. Simple, right? If you master that, you will win any product. That's why I specifically thought about after feature engineering comes in your model training and evaluation. Once you evaluate it, just throw it into the market. Again, say as Vignesh mentioned, data comes out, you try to train your model, generate some information out of it. One model generating information might be a raw data for other model. Data, information. That's how the information that generated 5 years before might be a very raw data for today's model. That's how it grows. That's how your model engineering, model evaluation happens. You train them again and again. But make sure your feature engineering is always given priority. Okay, now we spoke many things, right? But the simple gist why we spoke all these is, yes, even though it's a big workflow, big list of tasks that we need to do, industry, there are many providers who have given tools. Just with a click of few buttons, complete thing will be done. Right? But the problem is, as long as your automation comes in, more tool comes out.
Click cancel.
Click cancel. On screen. On screen.
As more tools comes out, more automation comes out, you lose the base knowledge. Rather than learning, you depend on tool. Don't do it. That's where we depend on academic resources. We need knowledge coming out. Give them tools, then they'll explore. The research is beyond the limit after that. That's why let's have the base considered always, but make sure the tool, let us register what kind of base is being achieved by this tool. If you don't know the base right, you don't know how the tool works. You try to depend on, give something, it will give you output, just go on. It should not be the way how it should be followed. Yeah. With that being said, we will give a quick demo on what this workflow or what a pipeline is. You will see how easy it is.
Alright. So basically, this is a public cloud service called AWS. So the reason why we go with cloud is when the data is so huge, and then in order to store and maintain it, it will be difficult for us to have it in the local, right? So when it comes to cloud, they'll be maintaining it for us. Instead, we need to pay for them. So that's how it goes. And one major service is Amazon SageMaker. So you can consider SageMaker as a Google Colab. So this is how that service will look like. And then here, if you see on the left side, we have large number of options, right? So how Google Colab differs from SageMaker. So that part will be coming based on the different options which is available right here. So you might not find this number of options in the Colab. Maybe on the higher version you might have, but on the lower version you might not have. And one other thing is, apart from this, so this is a service, right? So if you see about SageMaker, there are two things. One is service and the other one is library. So Amazon has a library called SageMaker where they have inbuilt algorithms within it. So if you see, this is the documentation that is provided by Amazon, where they have a built-in algorithms that is built by them. So built-in algorithm in sense, say for example, we have image classification. So image classification is a common problem, and then they have a model which is pre-trained by them. So we need not train it again. Instead, we can directly use it in the SageMaker, and then we can just pass our input, and then we can get the output. So that this particular data, what they have trained, it won't be shared to us. Instead, we can just do the classification by our own. And then some of the popular models are YOLO, Faster. So these are some of the popular models where all of these works can be done. Instead, the data which they have trained, that will have some more accuracy than we do. So if we are covering for a certain common use case, say for example cat or dog classification, or like common things, then we can make use of this, and then we can see how much accuracy we get here. So based on the problem or based on the data, the accuracy might be varying. If we have a specific use case, and then when we are trying to fit it in this algorithm and the accuracy is getting low, then we can't use this. Instead, we should go with some other thing. And not only this, so if I scroll down, based on different classifications of machine learning, we'll be having a large number of algorithms within it. Just one thing which I want to cover. And then one good advantage of SageMaker is, let's say I'm going to train a model. Okay. So once I'm training, there are two parameters. One is epoch and the other one is loss. Epoch means the number of iterations that I'm taking to train that model. And we have something called loss, where we'll be able to see the seat asymmetric. So basically when I'm training, I can see the loss will keep on reducing. After a certain point, the loss will be increasing. So they call it a stochastic gradient descent. Basically, if we draw a graph, based on number of iterations, the loss will be reducing, and afterwards it will be increasing. So the graph will look like a U-type fashion. And then we won't be aware when that particular loss will increase. So we need to actually keep on monitoring it. And then, okay, at this point, the loss is getting increased. Then that is the point where we need to stop it. So, we need to manually look into the metric, right? Instead, if you go with SageMaker, have an option called AutoML or SageMaker services. So that will actually automatically stop at that point. So that, we need not manually spend time on it. And then, we can actually parallelly run many number of items within it. And one other best use case for SageMaker is, let's say myself, Santosh and Vignesh, we all are going to work on a single project. Then we can create a space, we can share it among us, so that all of the code which we write there will be in a sync. So each of them can collaborate and then we can work on it. So here, there are two things, one is Studio and Studio Lab. So these are some of the, I would say like different options that is provided within SageMaker. So here I'm opening Studio, So so this will actually take some time to create a studio. So I just already created it. I'm just opening it. So once we create a studio, this will look something like this. The UI will be like this. And then here, if you see, I'm already running a notebook here. I can call this as a notebook. So we have to export. I mean, you would have seen about Jupyter Notebook, right? Similarly, I'm running this here. Let's say I need to create a new instance. Then if I click on this, then it will ask for a name, and then we'll be able to create it. Or else, while creating, it will be asking us for an instance. I'm giving it as test. If I create a space, it will take some time to create. So it will be opening in a new tab.
By the time
Maybe I can go one.
Yeah,
So basically, you need to specify an instance type there. So instance type in sense, we have different types of instances provided by AWS. So it starts from T3 medium, T2 large. So based on the computation power that you need and based on the memory that you are going to use, we can choose the instance. So once this is used, here this is how it will be coming. So I can see it running. So if I click on open, it will be opening in a new tab. So once it is opened, it will look like this. So here I already written certain code, but if you see, it will be in a new thing. It's not connected to internet.
This actually we can compare it with the Jupyter Notebook that we are running locally with Anaconda flavored, the Anaconda with Anaconda package. Everyone has a notebook input, right? So that actually using our machine's compute power. Like if you are running in this machine, based on this compute power, you can run the job. So here the advantage is you can choose a lot of, the compute power is huge here. Right from a single core machine to 16 core, 16 GB GPU setup, we have it with Amazon. Only thing is you have to bear the billing cost. So since we operate on the customer billing, we can scale it up and then use it. Because it is for a specific business purpose, we are able to play with it. But when we are running for our learning purpose, we need to be a bit cautious here. Otherwise, it will empty our pocket as soon as possible.
Yeah, just to give one more input, like it's our smartness from an educational organization. We have rights and we do have power to go and ask for vouchers. And cloud providers do give us. So if you guys want to explore or have your students explore, we can buy vouchers. Amazon will be happy to share. Not only Amazon, everyone.
So basically, this will actually open a Jupyter Notebook for you, and then here you can import necessary libraries that you need, and then can run it. So basically, this will be similar to Colab, what you would have already explored. So here, if you see, I have two options to add the data into this. So one thing is here I can directly give upload, and then I can upload whatever data that I need to upload. So here I have an option for it. So here, if you see, I have already uploaded certain data. So this is related to the road accidents that has happened in India. So this is a small data set just to show how that data will look like. This is how it will be. So I'll be having different states, and then based on different year, I'll be having the number of accidents that has been happened. So this is like a raw data. So the basic idea here is from this raw data, I'm going to infer certain information from it. So that is how it is going to go with. And then if you see the number of columns, I have large number of columns, right? So in my perspective, I'm going to take the number of accidents based on a state-wise. So if you see, I don't need much of the data which is right here. So I need to clean certain data. So one thing why I am cleaning is, that's what I call it as data dimensionality reduction. So if I reduce the data, it will take less compute and then less time to get the analysis. So whatever intention we are focusing, based on that we can actually do the cleaning process. So here I created a Python notebook. So here basically I'm just importing certain libraries like pandas, numpy, seaborn, and matplotlib. And then using pandas, I'm just reading all those files. So I have 4 different data sets. I'm just reading all of it. So one thing is for the number of persons who have been killed, the other one will be injured. And the other data is based on weather conditions, so based on weather, how much accidents has been happened. And then the other one is the road, so based on the highway, right? So each and every highway, it will be having certain count of accidents that has been happened. So based on that, I have a data set. So here I'm doing some cleanup. So I'm just dropping. So here you see I have imported the killer DF. DF instance, within pandas we have something called data frame. So data frame is a package where we'll be able to import 2D related data, 2D in sense tabular data with rows and attributes. So if we have data in 3 dimensions, then we have other thing. So we have series, data frame, and one more option. So if currently I'm not able to get it, but if you read the documentation, you will be able to find it out. So here it is a tabular data, so I'm going with data frame. And then within it, if you see, it is easy for me. So with this function called drop, I'll be able to remove all those unwanted columns which I don't need. So I'm just deleting all of it. So on the top we have that run option as well. Maybe I can run each and every segment.
This again not a repeat of Jupyter. We are trying to show how the tool, how efficient it can be used. Anything we want to do, this supports. That's what we are trying to showcase here.
Yeah, so currently I'm not printing anything, so I don't see any output here. And in this step, if you see, I'm just renaming certain column. The reason is the column name is so big, right? So each and every time when I need to enter it, it will be difficult for me. So just to rename it, I have an option called rename within Pandas, and just using it to rename the column, so that the entire string will be converted into this particular value called 2014. So now if you see,
In the pandas we have one called the index. You can manually do index.
yes, we can do that as well. So index in sense, it will be like which column you are going to choose. Pick, we can provide that as well. And then again, so for now if you see, I just made some cleanup, right? So now I'm going to make some pre-processing steps. So pre-processing in sense, I have the existing data. From there, from that data, I'm going to write certain logic in order to grab certain data based on my need. So the common use case will be like data aggregation or grouping, something like that. So here if you see, I need to classify the entire states as North India, East India, South India, and West India. But in the data set, I don't have that, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just clustering. So I know like what states belongs to North India, what states belongs to South India. So I'm just defining it. And then I'm just writing my own logic in order to separate those data into different regions. So similarly, like based on the use case that we have, we might need certain pre-processing steps. So that one, we can do that after cleaning is done. So in this part, if you see, so within Pandas we have something called pivot table. So pivot table in sense, in the so there I just imported the data, right, from the data set which I already had. So there, from that I'm going to create a new table which will be stored in some variable, but it won't be written in a file. Instead of within Pandas itself, it will be stored as a table. So this is in a runtime, right? So on runtime it will be available. If I did not save it in a separate file, then that particular data is lost. But within that, since it is continuously running, I can store those data. So I'm creating a pivot table with certain alterations, like based on zones. So zones in sense, so zone is mentioned in that data set. So based on zones, I'm putting the values as the number of the years that I have. So basically what I'm doing is, I just classified it into North India, East India, like that, right? So based on that, how much accidents has been happened, I'm just grouping it. So now, so till this data processing was done, and then here I'm just plotting the data. So here if you see, the data is plotted between the zones that we have, like central zone, east zone, northeast zone, like that. So on the x-axis we have zones, and on the y-axis we have the number of accidents that has been happened. So if you see, the most number of accidents has been happened in the south zone, which means on the like Kerala, like whatever we classify, like Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. So so this is how usually the work will go. So based on the data that we had, it will be difficult for us to predict on where the most number of accidents has been happened. But after doing certain pre-processing steps, and when we plot it, we'll be able to find it out. So which means in order to reduce the accidents, so let's think on a government perspective. So in order to reduce the accidents, the primary thing is they need to focus on the south zone. So this is information which they will be inferring from this.
Yeah, again, this is a tool, okay, and we are not just pulling some information and running it here. We know what we are doing, this is what is being done. Because this is a replacement of Jupyter, no, nothing more. But yes, it has more to it, but if you start using this tool, you will start explore what extra items which you can do. Right? With Jupyter, again, the collaboration is kind of very limited, but here that can be efficiently used. You can have a group of students created, you can give them this kind of exposure, they will know what collaboration is, how efficient it can be done.
Fairly, you can tell what would be the cost of this?
You can transform a data within AWS into any format. For example, if a customer is running his business, again coming back to the industry standards, almost all the customers, they have their own data source. If he is very new to cloud, he have it in his local with some kind of storage service he used to configure and data will be feeding there. If he is good in cloud, they have it in either AWS or Azure or GCP or some cloud he will be having. So the data handling is getting easier here. If you are running it in Jupyter, either you should be having your database set up in your machine or you need to depend on some CSV file, which again no one can open and visualize. If you want to write a query and visualize it quickly, it is a complex process when you use it in your machine. So since this is an ecosystem, it has different layers. It has compute layers, it has storage layers, it has these kind of ML and cognitive service based layers, and some auxiliary services for security, other stuff. So this is the package. So this can actually hold the data, transform the data, take it for computational algorithm somewhere like either in SageMaker, or you can write your own ETL jobs in different resources and get the end solution out of it. Even it has visualization tools also, which is far better than the local setup what we have. That's the core point. We do have few visualization dashboards created for this demo. We'll showcase it later.
This is the
Sir, it's a paid version, so you want to pay collaboration.
Yeah, exactly.
But in Colab it is free, everything is free there. You can also share there.
Yeah, exactly.
You can
But if you
collaborate with
still,
everything.
yeah, Colab is the online version of Jupyter. That is what I clarified, right? Colab, you can compare it with Jupyter as an online version just for collaboration.
The same facility is available there.
Exactly, but you need to depend on a data source, which is an in-house data source, which we can't achieve it in Colab. I told, right? AWS or Azure, even Google has their own data stores, which will be, again, go into a paid version when you go for an in-house data source. If a customer is having his data source in GCP, right, that you can plug it with Colab. But out of the box, Colab doesn't give that capability as a free. If you're going for a data handling purpose or data transformation layer, you need to pay for Colab. Colab, for now, Colab is free. It is just addressing the collaboration thing, what ma'am mentioned, right? You can just run it free. You can run a Jupyter notebook in Colab with a couple of students working together, that's it. Again, still you need to upload your CSV file or data store. Data store cost we have to bear, right?
The term
The
data
file
comes-
also valid for that time only, after the
It will expire.
it expires. Again we have to upload it and.
Yeah. So if you close the Colab instance or if you lost the drive, Google Drive storage, Colab works with Google Drive, right? If you lost the storage, it is done. You can't go and retrieve the data back. But here, the main purpose of this particular, this is just a single tool in AWS. It works with couple of other tools. Similarly, Colab, also a single tool. For now, it is free for a single purpose. But if you are plugging other resources, they will again bill on you. If you are dependent on data, even Google Colab can be connected to Google Analytics, site analytics for site-based data researchers. There you need to pay for the Google Analytics API, right? See, they are not putting this in front of Jupyter, but this is solving few other problems which we can't achieve it just with Jupyter or just with free version of Colab.
Okay, again, as we mentioned, there are tools. Same thing what we guys are doing, this will give you the efficient way of doing it, that's it. Right? Again, there are same list of steps which we mentioned as part of ML flow, right? Same data collection, data pre-processing, the same thing is what everyone doing. How efficiently it's been done, right? And what's the point you need to consider when you choose this tool, that's it. We are trying to register that, that's it.
Yeah, and also if you have a new AWS account, there is something called free tier, where you will be able to explore all the services which belongs to that free tier for around 2 months. So here if you see, this is a list of services within SageMaker, where all of the metrics which is mentioned here, right? So it is free for a certain period. So here if you see, we have it for the 2 months, And currently what we have seen is for the SageMaker Studio, and it is free for 250 hours. And it belongs to a specific instance type. So here we have ML-T3 medium, right? So only this particular instance can be used. But so they also provide certain things for free, but for a limited time. Yeah, again, so before we saw that South most part has more number of accidents, right? So among South, which particular state is having more number of accidents, again, we can write certain logics to plot that as well. So again, Tamil Nadu is stopping there.
I think we were planning to complete this before the break, but unfortunately, due to some kind of Python language training, it happened to be extended. So we'll have a short break here. We'll come and continue from this. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Mr. Sambal, back 10 minutes.
As a quick summary, like we do have a Q&A section. Have your questions reserved. Let's not have that internally discussed when you are presenting.
என்ன பண்ணீங்க நிறைய கவனிக்காதுன்னு சொன்னல அந்த ஒரு நிமிஷம் கூட ஆகலை சேரு உடஞ்சது லேட்டாக வந்தது ஒரு குத்தமா லேட்டாக வந்தது
At least that they will have. So the only scope that where we can plug those data is cloud. That is what we again putting back here, right? But the core, what you are doing on top of it, is same in local, same in cloud. It is giving some extra features on top. Right? So yeah, this is again a similar studio like SageMaker Studio. This is AutoML. Like Azure ML Studio, this is technically it's Azure ML Studio. This is Azure's version of SageMaker, that's what I would say. So here the key features, before going into the exact setup what it does, I like to stop a bit on this data area, because this makes the primary difference in terms of cloud. So when it comes to data area, right, the whole data is in the Azure ecosystem. If you see, right, these are the data sets that we have created for different reasons. So this, it is an Azure ecosystem where you can take this data and plug it to any Azure resource. One of that such resources is AutoML Studio. Right? Similarly, you can think of some other Azure, this is again Azure Blob Storage they call it. Let us assume a customer is having a different application, kind of a booking application or something, where he is already having the data and this kind of artifacts, right? Which is again in Azure, which we can easily use it for data analysis in this tool. This gives the capability. And altogether, this comes for local data sources. I don't have any local data sources now, but in this place, you can connect to a local data source, like on-prem data source, where they have all the data with the customer environment. You can just give their connection strings or some other environment like Amazon S3 is an Amazon resource. You can see, right, in the description itself, you can connect all these stuffs. Even normal MySQL database which is there in the local, you can use it, connect with the connection string, provided you have a proper authentication. So you can pull this data easily. That makes the difference here. So coming to jobs, right, the end goal of this is to generate some models. Okay, this is not a 100% data oriented studio. This actually you have to feed a golden grade data to this. Like data should be in a cleaned format. Still you can open it. It also has the notebook instances here. We can go and do the basic data cleanup, but by default it is expecting a cleaned data. So if you have the cleaned data, you can generate a model out of it directly, which you can plug it to the external interfaces, or you can use it for any purpose. Okay. So with all that, right, this is the most important feature of this studio. So automated ML. So here you can create an ML job with all this data plugged in here, right? So the ML job is nothing. When we visualized the SageMaker Studio, right, we went and you opened a notebook and we wrote all the code. Then we created finally it do everything and create a model. So here it handles everything. Unless and until if you don't want to touch anything, like you don't want to customize any ML flows here. It does everything for us. It understands the data. You asked a question, right? Why we throw a data? Why can't it take a model out of it with no code approach? This is a no code approach. Okay. So basically, I'm just making everything as default. And going back. Yeah. So based on the data, this you need to give. Whatever, whether classification, regression, time series analysis, this we have to give. So this is a time series data, so I am giving a time series analysis. With this crash data, right, I already uploaded. This is the same data which we used it for the SageMaker studio. So the accident occurred in our country for the last few days. So this data I am selecting. Yeah. So here comes the actual configuration. So what is the target column, what is the time column in the data. Time series analysis, again you need to have a series of, for example, time is the timeline. The target column is what you want to look out of it, like number of accidents or number of accidents in the area, like that. You can give it and create a job. Compute job I can't run it now because again the same instance billing issue. I can't trigger a compute job now. But if I select these two and run a compute job, right, finally I'll have a model.
What time columns that?
Time column, in a particular column you will have the time settings, right? In our data set itself, if you have a column to represent the timeline, this particular time this accident happened, like that, if you have that, you can choose it here. So this again, it throws all the column what is available, you can choose it there. Target, you can choose number of accidents or people injured, like that. Yeah. So the main intention of this is for the data handling part. So where you can plug different types of database together and get the work done. So this is all about AutoML. So I'd like to summarize a bit these two things, right? So everyone, you have been using Apple products, right? At some point we used to have Apple product. So in Apple product, right, if you have your mobile phone, laptop, your earbuds, everything is an Apple. So they call it as an Apple ecosystem, right? If you get a call in mobile, it will be notified in your laptop. Same way, if you have a earbuds plugged with you, you can either attend a Teams call from your laptop or from your mobile. So that is an ecosystem. So here three things are working together to address your solution. That is why we are suggesting these two bigger providers. Even a similar setup is with Google. This is emerging slowly. It is not mature. I'll say it is mature, but people are recurrent. Again, there is a big talk with Google, right? They are using our personal data for their own training. That is why people are recurrent to use this. This is Vertex. Vertex. A similar cloud solution. We can compare it with SageMaker Studio, Azure ML. This has a lot.
Any free version is there, sir, so that
this
the one
is-
set of students.
Yeah, this we can, if you create a new Gmail ID, right?
Okay.
Any new Gmail ID if you create, you will get a free credits for 2 months. You can play
So that
with
we
it.
can demonstrate.
That is a hack with Google. All the Google products, if you have a Gmail ID, you can use it for free for some days. If it's expired, create a new one.
Again.
Yeah. Because we don't have a lot of Google related projects. That is why we have a in-house subscription, but we won't use it much. I created the personal account. But if you see, right from generative AI studio till data, model training, everything it has. Like if I go inside each and every step, it will be too difficult. But what I would say is Gen AI Studio addresses basic ChatGPT stuff like audio, NLP processing and speech. These things you can play with Gen AI Studio. You can take a foundational model like ChatGPT. This ChatGPT is working on GPT 3.5 and 4 now, right? This has its own foundational model, like Google's foundational models. You can take any foundational model and then train your data on top of it and then easily plug it to your entity. You don't need to go and took a GPT model and then put your notebook instance and then do it. Directly you can took a base model. Foundation model is a base model which will have, it won't compute knowledge. You can take and put, if you have the SRM data, you can fine tune it with SRM data and use it as an inbuilt bot for students. If students want to know what is going in SRM daily, you can create a pipeline to train that bot on every day. Students can just go and chat and get the SRM data on a daily updates. Similarly, data, again, this again comes to the data storage part, what I showcased in Azure. You can plug it, upload your own data, plug it with externality and use it for, again, generative AI data training. Model, again, once you are done with this, you can create your own model and use it for your own custom needs. This is the Google's version, that's it, nothing much. Thank you.
For information, session is getting recorded and we are giving all shortcuts.
Everyone knows, right?
Sir, student want that only, sir.
See, they want our data. Google's want our data. Okay. With that we are giving them. See, Windows, everyone is using pirated version, right? This is just off topic. This is the connection. Windows, everyone is using pirated version. Microsoft knows it, but why he is allowing? He wants to be the top OS providers in the world. That is why he is allowing. With 3 commands, you can activate your Windows Professional or Enterprises, right? That is what.
Okay. So now we have given the workflow, right? Yep.
And among the 3, Vertex, AWS and Azure, which is best in terms of capacity and building?
We suggest AWS. We suggest, okay, because it is transparent. You can go and talk to them directly if in case of any issues, and free coupons and LinkedIn. If you are observing their LinkedIn page, they used to run free coupons and everything. You can use it and done it. Second, you can, if you want features, you can.
That's an arguable
Yeah.
point, right? But for your question, Amazon is the best. Right? In today's world, Amazon wins basically that particular competition. But others are coming up, right? So with a simple way of, yeah.
Yeah, one more thing is like if you go with Amazon, whatever you are using, based on that you will be getting the pricing. Whereas other cloud providers is not that. It will be based on subscriptions. So whether you use it or not, if you have the subscription, then only you will be able to use it. So based on the pricing model, if you see, AWS will be somewhat good.
They're transparent, simple to.
If you just open their building dashboard, right, you get to know what and all you ran, what is the bill. But assure it will take some time to understand that. Their payslip will be a bit difficult.
Yeah, coming back to the session again. So now we gave what a workflow is part of data science, and yes, there are industry tools available where you can go play around. We gave the all other questions of capacity, which might be the best, but everyone is exploring. Things might change. Right? That's right.
Well done, ma'am.
Sure.
Technical person.
Yeah. So now we gave what data science, what are different steps part of data science. We gave a complete tool which covers the complete workflow pipeline. All. Now students come and say, I don't want a complete pipeline. I want to take a first step alone. I have the data. I need to know only data cleaning. Whether after I configure a certain step, is it getting cleaned properly? Right? I want to know. I just need a tool for it. I don't want a complete tool where everything is automated. I know what's happening in the background. Okay. So for that also, yes, we do have a tool. We can recommend. That's what we are going to show now. Now let's take each and every step separately. Data collection, as I told, any web scraping or wherever it is, you have to collect the data. Again, I told you scrap from internet or get data wherever it is from. Llama, as he just already notified, right? The Meta associated.
So, ChatGPT, if you see, they haven't mentioned from, how they got the data, how they trained it, so those part are missing. Only thing which they told us, they used GPT. GPT is a architecture model, they called us generative predefined transformer. So there is architecture model which they have said, but they haven't mentioned like how did they train, what data set it is. But if you see, Llama is an open source, so which is performing similar to ChatGPT, whereas Meta, they have already launched all the things. So if you go with the research paper, right, so there is a link which is provided there. So if you click that, they would have given a detailed description on what data set they have used, how did they train, what they have done so far. And the Llama is an open source. And then if you see, they have given sampling proportion as well, right? So 67% of the data is coming from Common Crawl. So Common Crawl is a third-party company. They basically crawl all the websites which is there in the internet. So whatever data which we have in the internet, almost all data will be there in the Common Crawl. And similarly, like GitHub for the code, Wikipedia for the normal information. So these are some of the data which Llama was using. And then on the right side, we have the other platforms.
We'll share you the people.
So we have these like Kaggle, you see Irvine, so all of these sites, they will be having some public data which is open to all. So anyone can use and anyone can, so this is just for the experimentation purpose. So like if you are doing certain research on particular thing, then you need to check whether that particular data belongs to which license, whether we can use it or not. So all the copyright and proprietary things will come in. Or the best thing will be like collecting data from an industry perspective. If you are on a specific domain, if you need, let's say I need certain data from an hospital on a particular thing, then the hospital might also need a solution for it. And then if they are allowing us, then we can use the data and we can create our own.
When you collect the data, these are the page that the data is available. Can you get data and club it and show it as a single table or like that?
Yeah, that comes in the data pre-processing again.
Okay.
We can do, but these are some of the sources where we will be having the data. We need to collect it and then we need to write our own
part.
Yeah.
I'll show you. There's other tool where for your question there's a tool available for practice.
In that SageMaker and all, this will be done on.
Click about it.
So SageMaker, if you see, I would have shown about data wrangler.
Yeah.
So using data wrangler, you will be able to integrate all of these.
It's just matter of giving all the data flows. Okay, and here data collection, as I said, like yes, you can collect data however it is. Let it be a basic HTTP full or any kind of a protocol you use, FTP or whatever it is. These can also all be used. These are just kind of free, mostly free. Most of the sources are free.
But the quality of data will be good here because it is kind of a processed data. They used to summarize and finally they will release here. So you can expect a golden quality data.
For an academic background, right? This will give you a better data to explore, right? Rather than go prepare some data. And the one data set that we keep discussing, like the road accident report, we pull the data from here.
Okay. Yeah, the next comes the data storage part. So these are some of the data sources which we saw. Now how we are going to store it. So again, while storing, we need to consider a few things, like on what sort of data it is, like which format it belongs to. Let's say if it is a structured data, then we can store it in database itself. Or let's say we have the data in form of video or image, then we can't store it in a database, right? So instead we need to store it with some thing like Google Drive, or Amazon S3 something similar to Google Drive, which is an AWS service. Similarly in Azure we have blobs. So these are some of the places where we'll be storing it. And we have something called Apache Hadoop. So if you have heard about it, there is a specific file format called HDFS. Where this is actually a framework which helps us to store data in an optimized way. That is the main thing. And it is
like big data.
Yeah.
Now getting into data cleaning, you guys identified the data source, utilized external tools, collected, you saved it somewhere. Right? The next step is data cleaning, part of our basic ML side. Even that is true for data science activities as well. Right? As we see here, why do we clean the data? Right? First thing is improve the quality of data. Right? That's why you say there's already a quality improved data, go and refer to that. All these can be done. All the statistical terms, mean, median, variance, everything comes into picture because data science has those terms involved when we do a cleanup. When you do a cleanup, how do you, there are terms, right? Like basically considering different parameters. Right? There are a number of parameters you can include in any kind of a model equation. Right? We need to identify which number basically gives you a better equation for work, for which we always go with a basic Glasgow or distribution related algorithms to choose the best one, right? That's all can be done, but if the students wants to know, okay, if you want to showcase that part of your academic session, say for data cleaning, this is how it is. Assume this is a very dirty data. You can use this particular tool and do a conversion. I'll just show one particular, I've listed down, mostly these are our favorites. OpenFind is a Google product initially, then they released it as an open source. Right now it is open. WinPure is also an open source tool. The difference between those two again comes the features that is supported. WinPure supports more. Right? There many aspects it supports. Drake is the most data associated version which I like basically. But Data Ladder is kind of, it gives you the enterprise version as well. Everything has a data clean, you can define the rules how you need to clean the data. The number of data sources that it supports. Data Ladder is the top one here because it has an enterprise version. It will allow you to pull the data from anywhere. It will give you the data source for the answer for you, right? So can I pull data from different sources? Data Ladder allows you that. But you need to have a small enterprise version for supporting all data. Cloud Lingo, again with the name you know, right? Cloud, right? So kind of any kind of web scrap data you can pull it automatically. You go define certain URLs and with this particular tool it's scrap and have the input ready for your data cleaning. You go define certain paths and you define the rules part of the tool automatically it will give you. I'll just give a demo on OpenRefine because that's the easiest open source which they have released now. This is basically, I've already downloaded the version, right? Get into openrefine.com, like it'll give you the downloadable version. I've just downloaded. I'll just show you how I ran it. Once I download, install my software, I just open that particular product. It opens out a web URL. Right? It just goes through like that. As we choose, you can go choose any number of CSV fields. What are the data inputs? The one data input that we pulled in is road accident. These are the sample inputs we pulled in for this session. I'll choose one out of it. Okay. Next, that understands the data format that comes in the CSV headers and blah blah. It will give you a tabular view, as you see here. It just gave you, it understood the data. It gives this kind of an output, right? Now, for data cleaning, what and all can be done, right? What and all can be thought of. You need to remove unnecessary rows, considering only null values are there. Few text related values might be. So all these needs to be cleaned up. I'll just give you one particular formula. Assume I have all numbers in real integers, right? Something has 7001, 105. I just need numbers in rounded of 100, right? I need to clean my data to take it to the next stage. once you create a project, it gives you an option, right? There are different facets. Facets is nothing but there are automatic facets available saying so and so. You just give a particular one example which I can tell you is if you give a sales related data, and if you want all the company related data are aggregated, clustered, right? You want that clustered version to be pushed into next stage, and the company name can be in different format like Amazon.com, Amazon.com, -, something like that. You can define rules. So even though it's are different formats, cluster everything as a single record. There are options to give you that kind of rule. I'll show you one particular rule here. Basically, it will give you the value. What's the output and what's the input and output for this particular column. I need to change this into a hundreds multiple, right? Again, value is the key. I know the syntax. I know the syntax. That's why I have the formula ready here for this demo. As we see here, this is a text column. As I told you, any data input might have. They will say numeric, but the input might have unnecessary values. So the input is coming in as text. I need to convert that into numeric and then floor it. If it is decimals and other pieces, remove everything, multiply 100, divide by 100. It's a simple logic, right? That's what I would have done here. Divide by 100, which means it will reduce into the 2 decimal places, then multiply by 100. As you see here, 7908 gets changed into 7900. I will just okay. As you see here, it got changed. Right? There are different options available within the tool, which I am not aware of. The value got changed. I can export it this way.
Since we export clean data from the different sources, how do you perform the operation like the mean, median, mode on this?
This is just a data cleanup tool. That's all. If the student comes in, I need to have a tool for data cleanup alone, so that am I having the right formula? Am I cleaning it right? So every stage of data science is taken out here. That's why we are recommending tools for every stage individually. Initially, we gave you the full pipeline. So, this is data cleaning associated, one of the tools which we demonstrated. As I already spoken about, WinPure, again OpenRefine, which I demoed now. Similar way, all others has its own aspects. How many different sources? Here if you see, I need to choose different PSV, CSV, there are certain formats only it allows. But different product gives you different support. Right? We can explore any one out of it. If you want to a detailed tool, so that many things are supported, we would recommend Data Ladder. Right? That gives you more support. Feature extraction, right? In any either ML or data science, feature extraction is the clear place where we see everyone should sit and think about. Right? Beyond this, everything is an automated. You have compute engine, you have algorithm which will run through everything. Feature extraction is the critical piece. How to extract features out, right? So to put it other way, basic text input. The version which I gave you is a CSV input. We know defined as we spoken about descriptive, prescriptive, predictive, right? But getting in other terms, we need to extract features. Monkey-learn is a place where Monkey-learn and Exalytics, right? These two is the best text extraction, text analytics kind of a tool which we mostly recommend or use when we get a problem. IBM Watson is the popular tool. From my perspective, IBM Watson, what was the initial best version started off? Watson gave many supports of feature extraction. Okay. Forget about text. Any format of input you give, Watson has its kind of way to extract. It has more rules.
The AutoML part, IBM provide some IBM has seen some provide some service for
IBM does, but this is the Watson is a simple term I'm giving in feature extraction over. But it supports feature extraction all till a model getting trained, Watson supports. But feature extraction is the simple term, I'm taking it out here. Watson gives you more support. It allows you to give good formulas and rules defined to extract the features.
Again, from an industry standpoint, if you see, the feature extraction part is there, right? So mostly it will be by a custom logic. So there you see we saw that OpenRefine, where we had only certain things to do, right? Only based on expression what we give, we'll be able to do it. But apart from that, if we need to do something in our own logic, then that is something which we need to code. So at that point, this might be a restriction. We need to code.
Yeah. Again, coming into domain knowledge, you need to know the domain to extract features. Simple.
No, I'll have this but dashboard. So now we get an overview like how to pull the data source, how to extract the things and that, right? This comes into a pure problem-oriented stuff. So once you have the cleaned data, you extract it from a proper data source, and you extracted the features and all. Now you have to do some kind of analysis on top of it. Only then either you can use the data for model training, or you can get some insights out of it. Like initially we saw a 4-grid, right? Either for the prediction one, descriptive, those stuff. So you can either plug it to any one of the use cases. Right? So here I'll mostly talk about the data visualization part, because let's leave the model training and other stuff. Now let us think of, we are just getting an understanding from the data. Right? So most of the data analysis has been done for this purpose. Like when you go to a customer site, right? No one is interested in creating a image recognition model, something like RNN or CNN like that. No one is interested there. So they want to get some insights out of the data what they have, so that they can run their business. So that is what 90% of industry is mostly looking for. Okay. So all these tools has their own thing. What I would say is all these tools has similar features. Okay. But it's up to and what ecosystem you are trying to plug this tool matters. So Power BI, the most talked data visualization tool, it has a lot of stuffs, But when we think about visualization, Power BI, even a non-data people can do the graphs and visualization within a minute. Like on reading just few documentation, you can do it. Right? Even few other open source tools like Kibana, Graph, they are specific for types of data. If your data is a binary data, it has a graphical representation, not like a bar and pie graph. Your data is a kind of a decision tree structure, something like that. GraphQL, graph query data, you can go with Grafana for those kind of data visualization. Like data is connected to multiple nodes, so you need to go over a node and visualize it. Still you can go with Tableau again.
So sorry to interrupt. To work with GIS data, which tool do you use?
GIS actually it is
Map related
Yeah,
data, right?
Map related.
Okay, so based on these tools, we might not be able to use. So on the right side, we have the D3 and CPON, right? So these are some of the libraries which we have. Using it, we'll be able to plot it. So within it, we have library.
Like analyzing water bodies.
No, so that again comes under data extraction, not under visualization. So with data extraction is concerned, we need to write that logic. So this is just for the visualizing the data.
So that is like you have the raw data of water bodies and other stuff.
Images.
So you need to extract the feature out of it. You need to go 2 to 3 steps back. You need to come to a conclusion like which part you are going to analyze there. So you need to reconvert the data there. There comes the data.
There actually the different operations are there. Okay, water body to the right of it, left of it, north, east, like that.
Yeah.
Okay, all these
So
things.
what is the area of
Yeah,
it?
that will
How
be-
the area has been transformed over the
Over a
timeline?
period.
Everything will come. So there, people used to pick a feature out of it. So if you want
feature
to think,
extraction comes in again, as I told you, domain is key. You need to know, yes, it's an image. From your example, it's an image. I have all pixels. Put your domain expert, what kind of pixel combination will showcase a water. Something like that.
There is one other library in JS called leaflet.js. So if you explore that, it is specific for the geographical data.
so that will help you in visualizing the data in that graphical format. So you can see in couple of YouTube videos, right? They will show a lake and the lake shrinking over a
Yes,
time
yes.
period of time. So it is for that purpose.
That is what you want to see.
Yeah.
How these
It is-
water bodies are actually transforming
Yeah.
over a period of time.
It is, I would say it is not a direct, there is no direct tool for showcasing it, but it is more like a image processing stuff. Like in websites and all, we used to play with the parallax and animation, CSS stuff, right? So that is the library what he
You have to
mentioned,
feed
right?
the statistical data accordingly that need to be.
We need to feed those statistical data. They like, you guys have heard of D3.js, right? The basic JS library for data visualization. If you want to, these and all, they give it in web format. You can plug the data. We have a couple of dashboards out of this. I will show that. You can view it in web. But if you want to have some specific data representation in a website, there the environment is different. It has just HTML, CSS, and JS. So you have the data, nodes, and everything. So D3.js is such library for representing the structural data, clustering data. So those data you can use that D3 library and visualize it in the website. We use it for different purpose. For
That's
graphical.
a heavy library, but
Yeah.
anything can be achieved with that.
Anything can be achieved. It is primarily.
Any specific infrastructure required for this?
No, just a JS library. You can just put its JavaScript URL and use it. Only thing is you need to feed the data in the correct format. It needs in JSON, I guess. You need to structure the JSON.
JSON format.
If it's a binary tree, right? If you want to show a binary tree, you need to prepare a JSON for the binary tree. You need to define the nodes, node name, colors, and everything. If you feed it, it will prepare the graph. The binary graph it will prepare. But we used to play it for the fun purpose, like website purpose we used to play, but it emerged for that. Similarly, the library what he mentioned is specific for the need you asked. And observing water bodies.
Leaflet, probably I will share you the link.
Yeah, the local bodies ideally on an area how it is transformed over a period of time.
Isn't cyclone many needs
Yeah.
to put a message?
They
How
used to play
the
with them. Particularly in Hindu, if you go that read the article, right, they used to visualize and
Visualize the thing.
These are all created with the statistics.
So the common use cases like in Zomato, if you order the food, right? So it will be displaying from where it is coming in the map, right? So for that, Google also provides certain API with respect to Google Maps, but it is paid version. But if you see with Leaflet.js, it is open source and anyone can use it. But data won't be updated. So in future, maybe a few additional shops might have added, but Google will be keep on updating it. But Leaflet will be outdated. That should be.
These tools you can choose it for out-of-box solution. You can directly plug a tabular data or a statistical data or a structured binary data, and you can display it here. So these are the open source stuff. So yeah, just a sec. We have a few dashboards out of this. Probably that will give you a better picture. So we have a lot of data. This is an example one, but this is a data visualization tool available in AWS. Since we talk a lot about cloud, right? We picked this. So if you see, right, I'm not talking about data source and all. So this data is I guess it is. I'll open a more flexible data. Okay. So this is a snapshot of all the instances that a customer or some entity is running in their AWS account. Okay. So they collected data about the billing, about all the compute instances that they are running. So these are all different compute instances in AWS. So they collected the billing and running time, the cost incurred, everything. They just plug the data here. They are able to get it in a. So all this are available as a widget. So each widget, you need to define a data source and the type of data you need. So this is up to us to decide which widget for this data. So this is the overall cost. This is a cost spread over the type of compute what we use. So EC2 is just the bare minimal machine. This is a managed storage, which AWS gives. This one is a load balancer stuff, something like that. So they have spread it out across. So this is, they call it as open source dashboards in AWS. Okay. So we have one more such tool. This is way advanced to it. This even handle vector data. So vector data, you know, right? The whole the GPT stuff is operated with vector data. So this is also a similar tool in AWS where you can pull data from different sources and then plug it here and creating visualizations. But this is unique. So here, actually, a customer's insight is being driven here. So what you are seeing here is a air traffic data on a particular airline. So how many flights has been operated, what is the delay and all. So the customer will expect this kind of visualization for their business. Like if Air India wants to know how much they are going to earn in the end of the day today in bookings, or what is their typical time delay. So they have the ticket booking data, flight operation data, flight location data, everything they have it. So we will tap their databases, pull it from different sources and plug it here. Right? So only one more advantage in this tool, this is open source dashboard, this is a proper open source dashboard. Here we can actually search it and play with live queries. For example, all the top level insights we have plugged it as a widget here. If you want to run some specific query, like origin city from Dubai to destination city, something. Apply it, right? Within a minute, the query will execute and the whole visualization will be readjust based on the query RAM. So this is actually creating a SQL.
Is it open source?
Not an open source.
Licensed.
The name is open source dashboard, but this is a licensed one. This is an AWS product. So here you can even plug logs from different AWS resources or plug data from different databases.
The similar thing we have tried is Power BI.
This is a AWS version of Power BI. Power BI, we don't have the data source ready, that is why we pull this. This is quickly, this is handy version. Because if you want to learn this, right, they do have different types of data inbuilt. You can just go and create a dummy data, load it together and play with it. Then you can think of whether we need to use it or not. That flexibility it gives. So we use this.
It's a last phase of your ML with data visualization. This is visualization tool.
Still, if you want to get an insights out of the data, the end goal is this.
Yes.
If you want to go for a prediction or running some kind of ML stuffs, you want to run some predictive analysis, then you need to make a model, put it into an inference stage. Yeah. Put it to the inference stage, define its own ML pipelines.
These are step associated tools. Every step has its tool if you want to explore that alone as a tool.
I guess someone asked about a video analysis tool, right? I can suggest one tool. So video analysis, actually, no one is running a defined video analysis. What they will do is, if a video is of 20 minutes length, right, they will split each and every frame. Yeah, they will convert into picture. And a feature extraction place in the mid, so where they will remove the duplicate frames, they will pick the unique frames. And then using FFmpeg, they used to do all this. FFmpeg is a library actually. It is a open source library where we can do a lot, like Photoshop and the Premiere Pro software editing tools and all. Like all those capabilities, if you want to build on your own, you can use FFmpeg and create your own software out of it. If you want to create a software like Adobe Premiere Pro, where the famous film industries are using, you can use FFmpeg and then run it. So using that, it used to do all this. Finally, it will go for an RNN algorithm to extract the data in that. Using the data, it used to tap different data sources to get the insights in that video. One handy tool in AWS is AWS Comprehend, right? No, recognition. AWS has recognition.
Common entities car, the frame put in the particular object.
faculty family
but again, most common things are like celebrities on the photo.
So this is one handy tool, recognition, which you mentioned. So you can even you can feed video into it. Okay. So you can feed video of any name. So the video will be converted into frames, and each frame will go for an RNN analysis, and then it will extract the feature out of it. So as he mentioned, right, this is an example video what they have in recognition itself. So we can identify people, celebrities, or we can get the metadata of a video, like what this video talks about. It's a photography or it is a educational video, exam, lectures, like that it used to do. So everyone was Prime, right? Prime Video, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, they have a, if you open any film, you have an X-ray. There is an option called X-ray. If you go there, right, it will give a complete detail about that film. What is the film about? Who and all acted? Actors' background, everything, right? So this plays a critical role in creating that metadata of a particular film. So they'll analyze the film with recognition, identify the faces. The film data will be pulled out from IMDb site. The faces again, they have open source like Wikipedia and anywhere you can identify the actors' data. So 3 to 4 services work together, club it, and then that X-ray page is framed. This is again there in Netflix. Any OTT platform, there is an X-ray for a video. Like in Amazon Prime, they call it as X-ray, but each about page of a video, right? So these are all not manually done. Everything is automated. So there is a pipeline which we talked, right? Once a video is uploaded, once a film is being approved for live, the film will go into this pipeline. So there they will ensure a lot, particularly in video, right? Once a video has been published in an OTT platform, it will go to a media orchestrated pipeline. So there they will analyze the bugs in the video. Video will have bugs. Frame drops will be there, black frames will be there, one frame will be overlapped with other frame, audio will go on a sudden high peak audio. Sometimes in TV serials and all, it will just go to the peak. Those are all unformatted videos, but OTT, they have a quality videos. That is why they are making money a lot. So each and every entity in that, each and every step in that workflow is driven by data. So they'll extract a lot from that, then it will go back to editing. If it is a serious editing issue, they will go back to editing, come back to the OTT workflow stream, then only it is published. That last stage is this X-ray generation. Yeah. That sums up my lecture. Thank you.
Yeah, one final thing which from an academic.
Sir, that automation work, who is going to monitor it? You are telling now that X-ray it is generated.
They do have teams for doing it.
So if you see with Amazon, they have a separate team called Amazon Entertainment. So where there are developers who's working there in that particular domain. So they'll be getting monitored each and every time, and something is happening.
After their approval only, it will come to our.
See, each and every stage it will go for an approval. So first it will analyze the video and then picks all the video related properties. Like in an image, if you in the Windows, right, if you go and right click properties, it will show some technical information. Similarly, video has a lot more than that. So because video has both image as well as an audio, right? So raw video data it will give. The audio, the audio frequency and some audio technical stuff it will give. So it will be each and every stage it will be extracted, it will be verified, it will go for a proper technician approval, then it come back to the workflow. Finally, the metadata extraction, there it will extract data from different data sources. Finally, he will have a review. It will be, and data visualization comes again there. He will have a UI to review all this and do some manual correction. Then it goes to live.
That's his favorite topic. If you leave him speak, he'll speak the whole day. So one final thing which I wanted to from an academic perspective, like this tool might be very efficient, like for any kind of I hope if you guys are aware of, like this supports you multiple data sources. Just plug and play, connect it. This is very recommended to from my perspective. For us, it's just matter of a reference, but from an academic perspective, it's a better tool. This can be better utilized.
Name of the tool?
Orange data mining. Just go search for it, you will get it. And again, YouTube has every different videos. It has how a separate algorithm can be driven out from initial step to final step, it gives you that. Orange data mining, just search for it. But very good tool. So with that, for our session contents are done. So now we are open for any questions.
Sir, how to get a license for data analytics in a particular college? Tools.
There's a process I will forward for you.
Okay, sir.
I hope your dean should have better idea than me. But there is a process.
Okay, sir.
For our side, we used to interact with AWS. They have their counterpart who directly coordinate this. I'll get the details and share it with you, but it's an open documentation and share it with you.
But to be straight, you can talk to sales directly. But
Call.
someone who is
Going to make payment.
going to handle this need to interact with them.
That's
They
why
can take decision and quick and then get it done.
So I say Amazon was better.
Academic institution, they give some consideration.
Amazon was better support here. Go directly call them, they will link you to the directly.
So, be open, right? They have their in-house support team in India region. Recently, it's been opened. From last year, they are functioning. So you'll get the same time zone support. And if they are running few campaigns to spread it actually to the institution, and then ideally it is being spent up for our company, like organization specific. But they are supporting colleges, schools who are coming forward to play with it. They are supporting it.
Some basic sorting task. I'm using a personal computer as a laptop. So many folders, some may be repetition will be there. I want to sort it out. How do you do it? Because if you go to run, scan the files, I can simply call some firewalls and run it.
All you need to do is like sort the folders.
Sort the folders. Because some files I put in the folder, some files I did not put in the folder, just kept in the drive. Okay.
So to understand your question, there are different structures of folders. There are files inside every folder.
Yes.
You need to pull all files and sort it out.
Sort it out. Similarly, some file may be repetitive here also. Some computer is there here, but I want to sort it. So that
Here,
here is in my room.
One thing, how
Because we talk about collection, cleaning, all those things. So I need some tool. Earlier I used to do manually. I want to do it in automated.
Yeah, so one thing what we can do is, so far what we discussed, right? So everything will have a data source, but this is in your computer level, so all the data is within the computer. Then only the OS will be able to handle it. So
Or you can copy it. Actually, I can copy it through pen drive, I can upload it. Is there any platform so that I can upload my thing?
For that, my recommendation would be SharePoint. Upload everything into SharePoint. They do have a support of document library. Document library and document set, which means even though you put it in folders, for them it's a single structure.
Okay.
So you can extract all files in a single order. SharePoint gives you that support.
He can sync his Google Drive in his laptop. That would be the better solution.
Even SharePoint works in a similar way. You can sync it with your machines, then you can have it in two places. Ideally, we want you to migrate to cloud. That is what we are saying. In local machines,
Dropbox
it is
you can use it.
you need to work with some scripts and then identify. You need to actually do that crawling.
Crawling,
To
yeah.
go each folder and then shake.
If you want script, I will give you the script that's open source script available. I'll give you the link. If you run the script, it will just down everything. There's a open source script itself available. But you have to give your parent. C drive is that's your parent. The tool should have permission to go pull all the files. If you have defined some permission issues, then there will be a problem. Otherwise, there's a tool, I will give you the link.
Yes, how we are maintaining for example, academic year. In the academic year, we do a lot of activity like that. We have so many folders there.
Personally,
Later, we have no time to keep it in the respective folder. We just keep it in the
So
drives.
cloud is the only solution. You are thinking from an enterprise level. So SharePoint or Google Drive or Dropbox, but preferably SharePoint, because the flexibility of SharePoint is you have storage, plus you have the visualization tool like Word, PPT, Excel tools are available inbuilt to it. so you can manage easily.
Also, there is an open source tool called Presto. So using it, you can actually write some query to search the files.
Could you spell it, sir?
Presto.
P-R-E-S-T.
It is nothing new. In Windows 11, you have it inbuilt.
Okay.
Presto is directly inbuilt, but they have their version of Presto. But tool he is suggesting you have to install and then create a such. What it will do is it will crawl your laptop and create indexing out of it and keep a cache with it. So you can directly search. It will look the cache and then suggest the file.
So one good thing about Presto is, so basically in SQL, it is all of a structured data. In structured data, we will be able to query. But with respect to Presto is concerned, it will be able to query structured and unstructured. So that is one advantage here.
And whenever you want to create a lab for specialized course, normally if you take any system, there's a standard specification there. You want to go with a specialized lab, which will be the best option, whether you're going to buy a GPU system or the cloud-based thing?
For me, cloud.
How much cost we can reduce? Let us take to create a 20 system with the 20 lakhs.
The price calculator, I will give you the AWS has its price calculator. You can give everything.
Okay.
How many systems you want to configure. This is how I need to give a storage. It will give you monthly how much it will cost. Cloud is mine only suggest.
You can talk to them, create a single subscription, create roles for each and every student who is coming, joining. So with their credential, they can access it. You have the track, what he is doing. At the end of the day, if you take a report, you can get to know how many instances he is running, what all database he has, what data he has, everything. You have the control. You can delete it or you can keep it. Or if you want, if you are closing a batch, you can wipe it completely and then make the account.
To assist their rate, let's say you decide to go with cloud, right? If you want, probably we can sit and help you for one day how it can. That we can guide.
The more handy thing is the billing alarms. You can set multiple alarms.
Even that will give you suggestions how to.
If it reaches particular cap rate, you will be notified. You can
Okay. So with this trend, how the startups are balancing their thing? For example, if you take Amazon or Google, they're releasing lot of tools as well as packages, libraries. How the startup companies or small IT sector, how they compete with this one?
Trade-off only. If you ask, right, every startup they will hit it with some cloud only. Nowadays, no one is going with local setup and all.
Okay.
So if I am going with AWS, if I don't have a huge budget, right, I'll first start using the EC2 machines and S3. That is the basic compute and storage service Amazon gives, which cost me little lower than the fancy database stuff and the SageMaker and all. I can still run a notebook instance, my Python machine learning code and everything in a EC2 also. Only thing is, I need to put some extra effort. So startup is bearing that extra effort than money, a trade-off. Once they got some investors and pull in, slowly they are expanding their cloud infra, they are improving their compute and everything.
My question is how they get the project. For example, earlier they used to develop a lot of web-based system or provide some services. Now the top people, they are providing services. How are you people able to provide services? That's my.
So here, basically using AWS or like any cloud platform, they are providing various amount of services. So behind the scenes, we'll be using those services to give a product.
So use case matters. That is what we are saying.
Okay.
As I told, right, if you don't like all this AWS, Azure and everything, you want a standalone data analysis solution means you will pick all the frameworks and write on your one. That is your core.
So the question is, sir is asking how the startups are competing with the giants, IT giants. That is the question is asking.
Yes, sir.
See, we say startups, right? Startups are trying to go pull clients. Clients need their business run, right? For running their business, some applications run.
That's what. Instead of contact you, why not the client contact this people? Because they may get.
If you want, I can show you. I can give you the link. There's an angel market available.
Okay.
You go register. You don't take any decisions. I'm going to create a startup, which will happen after 3 months. I'll go register myself on the angel market. You need to give details. I have so much of resource, part of my company. Come on, we'll guide you. there are investors coming in our
Rather than going AWS, why people are coming to us? That is
Yes.
it. AWS, they are investing their resource in advancing their cloud infra. They won't go and sit and listen to a customer and work with them. and all.
The
The
simple
small
answer.
customers can
Yeah,
get
they
it.
won't do it.
Simple
If you
answer.
simply want to create a Zomato, you want to run a food delivery business, you have the money, you have the idea. Not something similar to Swiggy and Zomato, you have the idea. You need to run your application somewhere. Your application is something unique. You don't to write the application. If you go to Amazon, right, they are dealing something bigger than you.
They will also support this.
They will support us because
They will cost $100.
we people are developer partners with Amazon. So we have partnered with Amazon, so they actually direct you people to us. Kind of.
Amazon doesn't have everything. Amazon has partners. We are one of the partners.
If you see, right, their console itself, it took almost 10 years, I guess, Amazon is running. If you, initial days of Amazon console is very good was. Only a developer or a technical person can go and do something. Now it is matured. Even now, right, if a non-technical person come, they can go and spin up some instance, it will again build on you. But we people know on what use case, what type of instance need to be spinned up. Otherwise, every time you have to go to Amazon, sit down with the customer call, that won't work out. Your business also will be slowed down. Even they also won't have that time to support you.
Putting it other way, Amazon has his own style, perfect. But for us, if they come to us, we know there are 4 pieces for part of your business. If you get in this piece into Amazon, it will be costing less. Get into Azure for that recommendation we give because we does the business for them in cheap. So they come to us.
Also on choosing an instance, right? So within instance itself, they have AWS has different things like on demand, reserved, spot instance. So which use case, which instance we need to choose, those things are not very able to recommend.
Thank you. Business questions. Let's
No, actually, sir, since you are teaching field, suppose you want people who want to join some course, when we can give a recommendation. Okay, this much university, that university, without those things we can recommend. For the thing is just curiosity.
Sure. Slides I will share it with you.
Yes, sir. We'll share it with the party.
Any other queries?
If you guys want to play with some of the tools which we said, and if you guys have queries also, please reach out to us.
Really a power-packed session with so much of contents. I guess actually in the middle I couldn't attend since one more parallel session is going on there. And our guest is there.
And it's not monotonous, man. There were 3 speakers, all of them got us very engaged.
They give
It's very
equal
nice.
space also.
I request Jayakumar sir to give us certificate. Mr. Vignesh.
Yeah.
Mr. Kiran. I invite Madam Pungodi ma'am to propose the vote of thanks.
I started off with a thanks.
So good afternoon to one and all being present here. So today's session, morning session, was really a very interactive session. I would like to, on behalf of SRM University, and as sir said, being a former faculty of SRM University, really it is so nice to have Mr. Santosh, Kiran sir, as well as Vignesh, all 3 of you. So you have not only registered for us what has to be done, because one small 2 minutes I'll just take. So we teach them what are all the algorithms that would be used in ML, or what is deep learning, whatever we do. Probably if we give an insight of what next is there in the industry. It is like we had an exposure today, or I had an exposure today, what is happening in the industry or what is required. So when the students knew the basic while they are studying in college, might be the decision making in the company and the way to sustain in a particular company and go further, it will be much useful. So your session was so much to that extent. Really, I'm very happy. And apart from all these, you three have come over here to give us so many answers for the queries that we have asked you. We didn't know that the queries that we have asked are very simple or whatever could be to your level. But actually, it is it was so informative, your session. We would like to have few sessions if you are there. We will try to join wherever we are, or I will try to join wherever. Thank you.
This
Thank you
young
very
age,
much.
they know a lot of things.
Yes, sir.
Happy to know it.
Just as experience, you people are more experienced
No,
than
no,
us.
we are theoretical
Yes,
people,
sir.
but.
2020 year passed out.
That's not bad. Within 2 years,
Matter of
2-3
2
years,
years,
I
he's
asked
doing
lot of
that.
things.
Yes.
To register here,
That's the
right?
point
He's
we
a
noted.
community builder, Amazon community builder. So
Okay.
they have their program for supporting other technical use cases, right? So based on how we contribute to AWS or Azure, they used to recognize us. So he is a young community builder from Brazil.
It's good to know.
And very humble also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So polite, humble, very nice. Thank you.
Again, putting all that aside, madam, again, we three are honored because we know what teaching profession is. And yeah, we are so happy that you like our session. So thank you so much.
And you really started correctly, sir. You are proud of your team, and we are
Yeah.
also. That's nice.
Yeah.
I should thank Ms. Sangeeta, HR in Presidio, for referring this team.
Okay, okay.
I've been troubling her for a long time, and she has referred this team to us. Really, I should-
So we will also trouble you in future, sir.
It would be fine if you could share us any of the information to contact you further.
She has.
And we'll get it from ma'am.
Can we have a group photo for the
Nothing to hide out.